Okay.
We're live. Back with the van. Finished up the rattle trap yesterday or the day before, and actually just finished putting on all the foam, rigid foam insulation on the walls. We've got a combination of a couple different kinds because Home Depot is out of a couple, but essentially we have 2-inch foam and 1-inch foam. 2-inch one is the Foamular and the Artec. They're the ones on the sides because those will fit in with the panels. Then on the roof we have the Artec 1-inch foam. And because if you put a 2-inch one, then you're losing headspace because there's only enough room for one. You'll notice though there's a bunch of gaps, things like that. Well, what we have to fill in the gaps is the Touch and Foam 200 system. It's supposed to fill 200 square feet of space. I think it's at 1 inch of space or something like that. Essentially, I did this on the last fan, this much foam on the windows and things like that, and then this filled in the gaps, and it worked out basically perfectly. I made the mistake on the last fan of buying several of those small cans that are about $5 each at Home Depot, any hardware store, and that barely covered anything, and that added up pretty quickly. So after, I don't know, 5 or 6 of those, looked into this. It's not cheap. I believe it's $350 or $375 at Home Depot or Lowe's. Has a different version, but basically the same price. And you have either the 50 or 15 square feet, the 200 square feet, or the 600 square feet. 600 square feet is the most savings, but it's also twice the price of the 200 square feet. And it is kind of difficult to make sure that it is the right, that's the word for it.
Thickness.
Thickness, there we go. Right thickness on the walls. So that's where this rigid foam comes in use, is because you can gauge it a little bit better. It's not a huge surface to fill in, and also it's cheaper to do it this way with approximately the same R value. So that's why I went this route. Also didn't go with the fiberglass or denim or any of those type of insulations, because reading about it, and if you get any moisture in them, they have a propensity to create mold inside of them, and it's going to get humid in the van very easily, and it's very hard to make sure that those bags are completely sealed off. And you know, once the walls are up, you're not going to be able to access it again without really tearing apart most of the van to be able to get to whatever might be causing smell, mold, things like that. So these two don't have mold grow in them like those other two can if you get moisture back there. Yeah, and for putting on this rigid foam, just use this 3M high strength contact adhesive. Instructions are pretty simple. Spray it on the wall, spray it on the foam, wait a couple minutes until it's tacky, put it on. Stays on great. It doesn't adhere completely to the backside for this one because of the rattle trap and also because of the curvature of the wall, but with that and this foam to go around the outside, it stays in place and doesn't move at all. There will be a little video of this foam going on. That will be going up on the Instagram page. It'll just be how we're doing it. You want to make sure you read all the instructions when doing this. Last time I did it was in the middle of winter, and it was a lot colder. It has to be a certain temperature, I believe about 70 degrees. I have to look at the instructions for it and have the van warm while doing it and things like that. Now that summertime, it's a lot easier to put on. You don't have to worry about all the temperature as much. But yeah, thanks for watching again, and hopefully you got a couple tips on what to do if you're putting in insulation in your van.